A post about 2024 versus 2025 all rookie teams. Who wins a game to 21? Why is it 21? Why can't it just be who wins a game?
All right, let's break this down. The matchups, the debates, the takes. Let's get right into it.
The matchup. Okay, so obviously what the people want to see is Caitlyn versus Paige. We're gonna do this. Who wins the matchup between Caitlyn and Paige? I already know what you're gonna say.
No. So get this. Candace Parker and Aliyah Boston, two absolute legends of the game, just dropped a bombshell on their podcast. And it's all centered around the biggest debate in basketball right now, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. They didn't just touch on it, they went all in. And their answers are sending shockwaves through the basketball community. Now, remember, these aren't just some random fans yelling on Twitter. We're talking about WNBA champions, players at the highest level, giving their raw, unfiltered opinions on who would actually win in a head-to-head battle. And trust me, what they had to say might just flip your whole perspective on this argument. Before we dive into exactly what Candace and Aliyah said and unpack why it's stirring up so much controversy, I want to know where you stand. Drop it in the comments right now. Are you Team Caitlyn or Team Paige? Because I have a feeling that after you hear what these WNBA pros really think about this matchup, you might just find yourself second-guessing your choice. You know, when you talk about pickup basketball, the magic number is always 21. That's the standard. It's not a full 5-on-5 40-minute game. It's a sprint. It's about who can get hot fast, who can take over in short bursts. That's the culture of pickup hoops. And that's the exact format that sparked this entire debate. A game to 21 first to get their wins. No complex plays, just pure skill and willpower. All right, so let's set the scene. Candace Parker and Aliyah Boston fire up their podcast, and they decide...
We got 3 people. You never played jackpot?
But you...
Come on, man.
You can't just play to 21? Like, what's the point with 21?
I want a full game. And we're going to go down the list. This is kind of tough. I'm not going to lie. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoza, Rickea Jackson, Phoebish, versus 2025, which is Paige Bueckers, Sonia Citron, Kiki Irifen, Dominique Malonga, and...
To tackle the one debate that has been absolutely dominating basketball conversations for what feels like forever. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. But they didn't just throw the names out there casually. No, they went deep. I mean, they were breaking down specific matchups, comparing skill sets from top to bottom, and giving their completely honest professional opinions on who would come out on top in an actual game. And let me tell you, their takes are not just making waves.
Though, hear me out. I low-key think 2024 would win that.
They definitely have more shooting on 2024.
They're causing a tsunami of reactions across the entire basketball world, from fans to analysts to fellow players. The whole premise for this explosive discussion actually came from a WNBA social media post that posed a deceptively simple question. If you pit the 2024 rookie class against the 2025 rookie class in a game to 21, who's walking away with the win? Now, right off the bat, Aliyah had a problem with the format itself, questioning why it was a game to 21 and not a full-length game. Candace jumped in to explain that it's rooted in pickup culture, but Aliyah was not convinced. She wanted the full 40 minutes to truly analyze how the game would unfold, and honestly, she has a fantastic point. A quick game to 21 doesn't really show you the bigger picture. You don't see how coaches make adjustments, how player rotations work, or how fatigue becomes a massive factor in the later stages. But let's look at the rosters they were actually dissecting, because this is where it gets really juicy. The 2024 squad was stacked with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, and Rickea Jackson, plus a 5th player. The 2025 team featured Paige Bueckers, Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriathan, Dominique Malonga, and Janelle Bailey. On paper, both of these teams are loaded with incredible talent, but their play styles and dynamics are worlds apart, which is what made this such a compelling debate. Candace immediately made a crucial observation. The 2024 class has a massive advantage in shooting. That's not just an opinion, it's an undeniable fact. Caitlin Clark is without a doubt one of the greatest shooters the women's game has ever seen. Her range is practically unlimited, and her ability to create a shot out of thin air is second to none. Having a weapon like that on your team fundamentally changes the geometry of the court. Defenses can't sag off. They can't afford to send aggressive help.
Matchup to matchup. Okay, so obviously what the people want to see is Caitlyn versus Paige. We're going to do this. Who wins the matchup between Caitlyn and Paige? I already know what you're going to say.
Because they have to constantly respect the threat of the three-point shot, which in turn opens up driving lanes and post-up opportunities for everyone else on the floor. My girl, Caitlyn, what? That was the energy. Because as soon as they started breaking down the individual matchups, the real debate caught fire. And it all started with the one matchup that everybody, and I mean everybody, wants to see. The one that would sell out any arena in the world and shatter television viewership records. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. We are talking about arguably the two most gifted guards to emerge from college basketball in the past decade. Both of them have championship DNA, both command massive global followings, and both have the rare ability to single-handedly take over a game. So who wins that one-on-one battle? Aliyah Boston didn't even hesitate for a second. She immediately declared, "My girl, Caitlyn." Now, that statement is huge for a couple of key reasons. First, Aliyah is Caitlyn's teammate on the Indiana Fever. She sees firsthand, day in and day out, what Caitlyn is capable of at the highest professional level. She knows Caitlyn's insane work ethic, her meticulous preparation, and her ice-cold ability to perform when the pressure is on. So this isn't just blind fandom. This is a powerful endorsement from a teammate who competes alongside her every single day. Second, Aliyah is one of the most intelligent players in the entire WNBA. She's not known for making hot takes just to get clicks. When she says Caitlyn would win that matchup, she's offering an informed, expert assessment based on her deep knowledge of both players' games. Candace's reaction was fascinating because you could tell she expected Aliyah to pick Caitlyn, but she didn't really push back or disagree, and that silence speaks volumes. Candace Parker is a first-ballot Hall of Famer who has seen every type of talent imaginable over the last 2 decades. If she's not strongly refuting the idea that Caitlyn beats Paige head-to-head, that lends a whole lot of legitimacy to that take. But let's be totally honest here. The Caitlyn versus Paige debate is about so much more than just basketball. It's a clash of narratives, of media coverage, of passionate fan bases, and it represents the very future of the women's game. These two athletes represent different journeys to greatness.
You see Chan and I'd actually, Rakia. We'll do Rakia. Sonia Chan and Rakia.
I still think Rakia can win that. You think Sonia's gonna win that?
That is more of like a coin toss, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Skill set wise, they actually play very similar, but I do think system wise, it's different. So we're seeing different skill sets.
That's true.
Because Rakia doesn't play in Sonia's.
Caitlyn stayed in college for 4 years, methodically building her game and rewriting the record books to become the most decorated college player in history. Paige, on the other hand, had to battle through significant injuries that disrupted her timeline, yet she still maintained her elite status as one of the most skilled players in the nation. Both paths are valid, and both players are undeniably incredible. But that burning question of who is truly better head-to-head is always going to spark passionate and sometimes heated responses. A player's system is everything. You put Rakaya in one system and you get one result. You put her in another and she could look like a completely different player. That's the nuance here. After the main event, they shifted to the next matchup on the card, Sonia Citron versus Rakaya Jackson. Candace immediately labeled this one as more of a coin toss, and Aliyah was right there with her, agreeing completely. It makes sense because both players have very similar skill sets. They're both incredibly versatile wings who can score from multiple levels, lock down on defense, and find various ways to impact the game and contribute to winning. But this is where Candace made a really insightful point about the importance of systems. She noted that we're seeing different versions of these players because Rakia isn't playing in Sonia's system, and Sonia isn't playing in Rakia's system. Now that is a truly sophisticated way to approach player evaluation. Because here's a critical truth about basketball. How good a player appears to be is heavily influenced by the system they're operating within. Some systems are designed to maximize a player's strengths while hiding their weaknesses, and vice versa. Rakia Jackson plays for the Los Angeles Sparks in a specific system that might not fully showcase the entire breadth of her abilities. Sonia Citron, on the other hand, will eventually land on a WNBA team with a system that could be completely different from what she's used to. So to compare them directly, you have to look beyond the stats and understand not just their individual talents, but how those talents would translate in a neutral environment, or more importantly, when pitted directly against one another. Yes, I said we should do a full game. What's 21? 21 is just, it's not the same. Then came the matchup that would be an absolute war in the trenches, Angel Reese versus Kiki Iriathan, and right away, both Candace and Aliyah agreed that this would be one hell of a battle. Aliyah specifically said that would really be one heck of a matchup, and you could just hear the genuine respect in her voice for both players. That's because Angel and Kiki play with a similar brand of incredible physicality.
Angel and Kiki.
Let me tell you, that would be one heck of a matchup.
Right?
That would really be one heck of a matchup.
That's why I said 21 isn't enough.
You're right. We probably should do a full game.
Relentless intensity and a motor that never, ever stops. Neither one of them is going to back down from a challenge, and neither one is going to take a single possession off. That matchup would be pure effort, raw energy, and non-stop hustle. And honestly, that might be the single most entertaining fight of the entire hypothetical game. This is exactly where Aliyah circled back to her earlier point about a game to 21 just not being enough. She argued that for a gritty, physical matchup like Angel versus Kiki, you absolutely need a full game to see how it truly plays out. Why? Because in short pickup games to 21, the outcome can often swing on a few lucky shots or a quick hot streak. But over the course of a full 40-minute game, the better player, the smarter player, and the more conditioned athlete almost always comes out on top. So trying to reduce this epic comparison to a quick sprint to 21 really doesn't do justice to the sheer complexity of these matchups.